Someone asked me about making one of them tire things that you run into if you're racing around like a track. One of those barrier kind of deals, you know. They got the tires stacked up and they got the little, you know, canvas or plastic shrink wrap, whatever it is they got on them. I was just going to see if I could make something that would kind of simulate like the plastic or tarp or whatever it is they wrap them things in. So I'm just going to take a couple of these tires and stack them up, about three of them, maybe three high. I'm not sure how tall these things would actually be. Um, I'm not a race expert, don't know much about them. I just know I've run into my fair share of a few of them in games. I'm not sure. I mean, how many should there be per thing there? Maybe three, four, five. I mean, how many stacks? I don't know. Let me just make it three. All right, now what I plan to do is just link. I'm not sure why these have animations. These are the tires from the game. I just got them out of the common folder of the install folder. I got to extract the zip file. They all had like animation on them, but they didn't animate. They just all had like, looked like it's had clear animation data, but they didn't do anything. When you hit play, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of error or something. I don't know. Thought for a minute they might start spinning around. All right, now I'm join all these together, and I didn't even put a texture on these things. I'm just worry about all that later if it works. I'm gonna spend all that time on something if it don't work. So this was my idea for making the top. I would scale something like this so that it's larger than the item. And then I'd subdivide it quite a few times. Let me center all this stuff up because it's not centered. I'll just set the origin to the 3D cursor. And then I don't know it's in the center now. The same thing with this. All right. Good time to save the work in progress. You never know with this thing when it's going to crash on you. So we got the plane selected. We go to edit mode. We subdivide it. Now just remember, each one of these will be a node, and each one of these will be a beam. So how many do you actually need? I would say try to get by with the minimum amount possible. Them beams add up quick. You know, a lot of them before you know it. Let's see. Hit A. I'm on triangulate faces. Now I'm going to go back to object mode, pick the mesh, apply a modifier to it called shrink wrap. Shrinky wrap. And I'll pick the tires. Now that did not shrink wrap very well. Let me try to project negative. That's not doing right either. No, I'm not sure how to. Why it doesn't go around the whole thing? I shoot, don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I'm not gonna spend all day trying to figure it out. I'll just improvise. Go to edit mode and pick this here edge, goes around. Might not be able to. Let me think. Yeah, I'm yawning. When I get bored, I yawn easy. My mind has to think about something that gets very sleepy. If it has to do any work. So let's see, let me think. That didn't work. Think of another way to do this. Alright, here's idea number 2. Add a mesh cylinder. Now, we're back to edit mode, remove that face and that face. I'm going to try to shrink wrap it again with this object. But someone else asked me about bending things in another video. This is another opportunity to show you, like, to bend something, you got to have more subdivisions. I don't want to put too many. There's already going to be quite a few. Hit A, triangulate faces. Back to object mode. Let's try to shrink wrap once again. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we are getting somewhere. I'll offset it so that it's larger than the item. Like this. But not in the item. You don't want it in the item. Just slightly on the outside of it. Now that is how to shrink wrap something. It'd be nice if it was that easy to do this in a warehouse when you had to wrap things with that plastic. Man, I don't like doing that. I work my share of warehouse work. I am not crazy about it. Some boring stuff. Remember my first job with a temp agency. They said, you're going to be working with computers. I said, computers? I love computers. Yeah, you're going to work with a lot of computers. I thought, man, it's going to be a cool job. I'm going to be working as a computer guy. Like, not sure what I'll be doing. The power's flickering here. Not sure what's going on. This has happened a few times. I think my air conditioner is about to die. Every time the compressor kicks on, it surges power draw from the Ethernet is not connected. I'm going to reset the damn cable modem. Look at that crap. Oh well. That's why I say save your work. You never know when you're going to crash or power going to die. So I think this kind of work here. Let's take a look at like NASCAR tire wall. Let's just type tire. Let's go to Bing. type Tirewall. Well, I can't because I don't got an internet connection right now. That's all right. All right. Improvise. Tire sack. I don't know what. I just call the material tire sack. I gotta get the tire some name. Off-road tire. That'll be fine. I'll just call it the tire sack. No tires. No. Tirewall. Tirewall. That's the name of the texture. Tire sack is the name of the mesh. And the name of all them meshes will be Tirewall. Keeps things simple. Now, if you notice this little dot here, it's because the tire's origins are not set to the 3D cursor. You will always want to make sure when you're making a mod that your meshes are all set to the 3D cursor if the 3D cursor is at 0, 0, 0, which you can verify that. It's real easy to accidentally move the 3D cursor somewhere else. You can always check the location by going to View and changing it to 0, 0, 0. That's how the game, I guess that's how the game knows, where the mesh knows where to be in the game world. Because if you had like this not a sign, like look at that, see how easy it is to accidentally move that thing. I gotta remember not to click on that again. So yeah, if the origin was set somewhere else and this was set somewhere else, then the mesh and the J-beams would not line up. It'd look really funny. So now I will export this as a J-beam. This is the tire sack. And now it's going to be heavy. But I'm going to export all that as a J-beam too. Heavy, I mean, it's going to be a lot of little nodes and vertices, and it took a while to export, so that's probably about 15,000 lines, just a guess. Alright, so that was called tire. How many? Oh, that's the wrong thing. I'm looking at the wrong one. Tire. How many did I say? Oh, I was way off. That's only 1,000. Wait a minute. I just realized this is not the right thing. Let's make sure, where is our J-beams being exported to? And I forgot to rename. I make a T for the prefix for the nodes and a S for the sack, T for the tires. I forgot. You got to export the J-beams. They got to have different node prefixes so that these numbers don't conflict with the other thing's numbers. Oh, I was going to say, where is it exported to? Go to this little pyramid and 2 balls, and it'll show you the export path, which is on the desktop where I was just at. Oh, it's called tire sack. I'm going to do a lot of experiments. I forget everything that There's tire sack, and there's tire wall. Now tire wall, or tires, I re-export because I give that a new prefix too. You'll see what that means as soon as I load them up into here. So tire wall, see the little T? And tire sack, see the little S? Since both objects we're going to use the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 blah. It's why you got to give these things different prefixes, because they'd be conflicting with each other, having the same numbers and stuff. So now what I'll do, I'll go find a mod that I've already made that would be something I can just overwrite. So I'll use smoke. And I'll change the name though to Tirewall. Then I'll open the folder. And this is in the unpacked folder where I'm working at. I'll go to mod info, change the name of the mod to Tirewall. Tirewall. And then I'll put my name in there and save. Now I have to go back and change this folder to Tirewall. And in here, load the blank jbeam. Well, it ain't blank, it's got something in it now. Just have to remove the nodes and the beams and the triangles. This is what we're doing now. Alright, now the first flex body. This is where you got to put the name of the mesh from Blender. So I said it was tire sack and Tirewall. And just so it's a little less confusing, I'll make the group name T, since it's the prefix for the nodes. Now the other one was Tirewall. Just remember, if you use uppercase or lowercase, that matters. Tirewall. Oh, I said that was going to be an S for sack and T for tire. Let me double check that I got the names right. Tire sack, Tirewall, all with lowercase. Tirewall is the texture. Tire sack is also a texture. So those two names need to be created. So I'll overwrite the main.materials.json and I'll put tire sack. And that's copied and pasted in two spots, here and here. And there's no color map. There's no actual texture image that's going on it. There's just be a color. Now I need a duplicate. Now this is how a texture ends. You have this little bracket, you got your texture, and then when you see that bracket and that bracket, that means that's it. If you want to add another texture, like we'd make a duplicate of this one and rename it, for example, we'll copy it to the clipboard. We have to add a bracket and a comma. And that says, hey, there's another one, another texture. Paste that there. That'll be Tirewall. I did something wrong, didn't I? Yep, you did. There we go, Tirewall. So, save. Now we go back to the empty JBeam. Now we just need to bring our nodes from our Tirewall and our tire sack. So I'll just drag those over to other. When you drag something over, you can say other view and it'll put it over on the other side. So the first one will be group S. And I put a note in here for folks so you know this is where the nodes go. Now we need to put a group B, T, I mean T, group T. And this is where the ones for these tires here will go. A lot of nodes. A lot of nodes. Oh, I was right. This probably is close to damn 15,000 lines. I had loaded the wrong one. I said 15,000. I was off by 10,000, like 25,000 lines. So that's why I said, man, when you subdivide things, goodness, man, it really adds up quick. So less polys is more better on performance. Less beams, less nodes. You don't want all that. Now it makes no difference if you put the beams, which ones you put first or second, because you don't have to have anything separating the two when you put those there where beams start here, where I say they go here. There's where they go. You can just put a space, or if you ain't got a space, or add, if you don't, you may already have enough room there, but you can add a space if you need to. We'll take the beams from this one and drag and drop them. Now the triangles. Yep. And like the beams, they don't need to be separated or anything. You just have one after the other. Right here where triangles go. Drag and drop. Tirewall. Take all them. Whoop. There we go. Right there. That's where they're going to go. Now, let's look at some basic properties for the beams. The beams are what is affected by the physics. They compress, expand, break, bend. Pretty much, this is where the nodes are. I'm going to increase the friction coefficient though, so that it's not too slippery. Node weight 5. I'll change the node material to rubber. I think that is one that is in there. This just has to do with the sounds that it makes when it scrapes or breaks or whatever. The material, that's pretty much the sound that it makes. Collision means if you can run into it. Self collisions means if the world can run into it. Basically, is it collide with the world? Does it collide with the vehicle? I believe. Pretty sure. Oh, mod name goes here at the top. Now, what did I say it's going to be called? Tirewall. I gotta look again. I forgot. Tirewall. I didn't put any reference nodes. I ain't worried about that right now. Let's test this thing and see what it does. We should have something appear in the game. I'll load the small grid. It loads the fastest. That's the quickest for testing things. I just remembered something. Mod can't be called Tirewall because it's got the word tire in it, and there's already a mod in here called Tire Stacks. Oh, wait, yeah, I guess I could. I didn't think. Wait a minute, they've already made damn tire walls. Why? I wonder why they want me to. I don't think my tire wall is going to be any better than the one that's already made. I know it ain't going to be better. But see, that's not my tire wall. This is the developers. But you see how mine's conflicting? because that is my screenshot for my preview for my Tirewall. But we just have to rename it. We'll close the game, reload the game, exit the game, whatever. Kind of just change the name of the mod, something other than the word tire in it. I don't know what I'm thinking. I had the same thing happen the first time I tried to make a tire in here. We'll just call it wall ABC. No, I don't know. Let's call it rubber wall. How about rubber wall? That'll work. Change the name of the mod. Rubber wall. I gotta change the name of the folders to rubber wall. Then the name of the jbeam or the mod itself. That should get us going there. So once again, we reload. Rubber wall. Ooh-wee. That's some performance hit right there. Almost like playing Flight Simulator on my Commodore 64. So here's the rubber wall. You can see the performance hit that's making. Now I expected this to happen because well, I didn't put any supports, so basically everything's collapsing on itself. Why you don't see a texture? No, I couldn't tell you that. Failed to get render mesh. I spelled something wrong. I had to have. That's the only thing it could be. Tire sack, tire wall. What's the name of the meshes? Oh, you dumb idiot. You didn't extract, you didn't export the damn mesh. You only exported the jbeams. You gotta export a mesh too. So this is where the tire mesh came from. Common vehicles, common tires. I mean, it wasn't on the desktop. It was in the Steam library. I guess like I could show you real quick. Steam library. Steam. Damn, why can't I see it? There. Steam library, Steam apps, common, BeamMG drive, content, vehicles. Wait a minute. I gotta show you like this. Steam library, Steam apps, common, BeamMG drive, content, vehicles, common. This is where the tires are at in that zip. Just extract it on your desktop. There's all kinds of other things, engines and other stuff's in there too, in that folder. So yeah, I gotta export to DAE for that to work. So I'm trying to navigate to a familiar location that's easier to navigate to than here. Rubber wall, vehicles, rubber wall, and I'll just overwrite that. DAE with this DAE. They should pop up in the game, but I still don't see them. Probably got to reload. The game don't like to update stuff like that. Damn, that's some damn performance there, man. You need a damn computer 2 years in the future to do something like this. Goodness, man. This is crazy. Alright. I'm not even going to fool with this. I mean, it clearly runs like crap. I'm not even sure what resource it's using so much of. CPU? No? It's not using anything. Why does it run like that? Now that's a mystery that I can't explain. But it sure does run bad, doesn't it? That's just a damn mess. It's just a mess. I don't want to fool with this. This isn't something I care to really do anyway. Yeah, you can see this is all messed up. And I'm sure it's got to do with my physics, because I don't know physics. I don't know how to make things really that well yet. But that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work at all. Maybe if I reduce the poly count significantly. It's 4,000. Yeah, I have to reduce some polys. I'm gonna make this simplified. 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 But I don't want to fool with it, to be honest with you. It's just, it's a very boring thing to work on. And that's just going to make it look like crap. And it's not even going to serve a purpose. Them tires have to be damn simple, simple, simple. They're going to have to be like this. That ain't even going to work. They're going to have to be so simplified that they look like this. Add mesh cylinder. When I say simple, I mean simple. Save. I'll just leave that. That'll help with the reinforcement anyway. Some. Uh, join. Save. Now I'm gonna go to edit mode. Now this is a little tricky here. So I'm going to pick the nodes, and then I'm going to pick some nodes like randomly, like this one, this one, this one, that one. What it's going to do, it's going to connect all these together. Like every one that I highlight, it will connect a line from each one to each one to serve as like reinforcement. When I go to uh, mesh jbeam nodes connector, see, now it got some reinforcement. I'll hit A, face, triangulate faces. Now back to object mode. We didn't crash. That's good. Now we save our file again. Now set the origin to the 3D cursor. Apply all transforms. Name this Tirewall like the other flex body. And give it a texture. Tirewall. Export jbeam. That'd export it quick. That'll be really good on performance. So we'll load Tirewall. And, oh, I forgot to give it a letter T, but it's okay. We can use a letter N. Just as long as there's not a second one with letter N's. So we'll get rid of this ridiculously long list of nodes, beams, and triangles from the first attempt. That's why the performance was bad. So the triangles, the nodes, and the beams. Save. Now we got to re-export the mesh, the DAE, that is. Now we reload the level, reload the mod. It should perform a lot better now. Now, accurate to a real one, physics, all that? Hell no, it ain't gonna be nothing like the real thing. Because I don't know math very well. In my math class, I had all the football players in there with me. It tells you how much I didn't know math. Yep. Well, that's a little better. But they still collapsed. I'm not sure what the world's going on with that. There we go. Now that's a lot more efficient. But gosh, man, you could have at least smoothed those polygons. Oh man, I know. I know it, man. I know. I should have done it, but I didn't. I mean, it's not textured. redneck racing tires or something like. That's pretty bad. Pretty bad. But you know we're gonna run into them one time. I mean, that's not a soft impact. That's kind of rough, actually. So that's where the beam spring, the beam deform, all that stuff comes into effect. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that is what it would do to a car. I've never run into one in real life. I couldn't tell you. But I guess it. I mean, but it did sling that plastic thing right on off of it. Yeah, I think this is probably a dud. I mean, someone with more time to spend on it to do something better than that. Well, I reckon I'll zip it up. If anybody wants to try to do anything more with it, you can have at it.